Hey, in today's episode, we are so excited. You're going to get to hear from a former Division One college football coach that actually led a local high school team to a state championship in only 3 years. He's going to tell us what it's like to coach some ball on the beach and a little bit about our favorite F words, and his faith, and family. So tonight, we just want to welcome Coach Mark Hudspeth to the Inside the Red Zone with Coach Smith and Mrs. Coach. We're so glad you're here.
Man, Coach, we're so glad you're with us, man. And I just want to just thank you, man. Thank you for coming on here tonight. And just our audience, if you didn't catch that, Coach Husband is the head coach at Gulf Shores High School down in Baldwin County. And man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. So we're going to get right on with it, Coach.
Great, guys. Thanks for having me on. Excited.
Well, good
And
deal.
I mean, he's on the beach.
Yeah,
So,
check him out, man.
Football on the beach. This is perfect.
I'm sure he's been laying out, And
Look at that tan, Coach. You're all nice and tan. And we are so jealous right now. You're in our favorite place. But we hope that the sun starts to set while we're recording this, okay?
You got it.
All right. Hey, Coach, we're going to get right with it, man. I just want to congratulate you again on winning the state championship last year. But, I know you let it sit 24, 48 hours, and you was already on to the next season, knowing you already get prepared for next year, man. Can you tell us a little about your 2024 team?
Yeah, the difference in next year, the 24 team compared to the 23 team, we had 24 seniors. A big senior class, somewhat for a 5A program. Obviously losing a lot of key players. Now only having 6 seniors on this upcoming senior class. So somewhere along the line before I got there back in middle school, we did not do a good job of getting kids out or get them out of the hallway or keeping them out or whatever the case. And so we're going to be a very young team this year. But the plus to that is out of 100 players, 70 of those guys are 9th and 10th graders. So we're really set up nicely for the future. Now, that's not saying we don't have some talented players coming back. Our starting quarterback is back. Judd Harris, Colin Wilson is back at running back. Jermichael Garrett at linebacker, and all those guys all have Division I offers right now. And then we've got a lot of other kids right now that have some FCS offers that are gaining more steam. Blaze Thomas, Carter Bird, just to name a few. So we've got a lot of key players coming back, just not quite as deep, obviously, as we were last year.
I got you. From year to year, your team changes. They got to get an identity, and I'm sure, guys, with you guys working them all summer, y'all gonna find y'all's niche and do what you do best and keep rolling, man. So, Coach, as you move it up to 6A this year, man, what's your thoughts on that, man? It's like the SEC West, Saraland and Spanish Fort, Theodore, McGill, Blunt. Man, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you really nailed it there. You look at across the country how all these conferences are combining and people are moving from conference to conference. You take a Texas and Oklahoma now moving into the SEC. It's going to be, even though they're outstanding programs, they have not played the level of competition each week that they're going to play in the SEC. So that's going to be a big difference. And obviously stepping up to 6A, to me, 6A football in the state of Alabama is like the SEC West of high school football. I don't know if it gets up, and so it'll be a huge challenge playing these schools, and just about every school on our schedule, and all those 6A schools in Region 1 have won a state championship, played for a state championship, have steep traditions, outstanding players. It's just going to be a steep challenge for us. But you know what? That's what's great about this great game of football. Every year there's new challenges, there's a new story. Now it's a new challenge, a new story, a new team. And so you gotta just every year put the new team together and bring up your young kids and keep developing players and hiring new coaches. That's the challenge that I love, is building a total program. And great off-season program. And so just excited to get into the summer. I'm excited about this break that I've got coming up here for the next 10 days. Don't mind me saying. But that's why I'm out here tonight on this beach here in Gulf Shores. But nevertheless, it'll be a steep challenge for us, but we're excited about the opportunity.
Yeah. And I took a peek at y'all's schedule, man. It's just every week. I mean, you don't have a weak link. I mean, we don't never, downgrade our opponent. But then you look at your schedule, it is every week, man. Y'all got to be ready to go. And I'm sure you guys will be ready for the challenge. So,
well, it starts with an incredible, non-conference schedule. You've got Choctawhatchee out of Fort Walton, and that's a big game that we're billing Battle of the Beaches. It's Gulf Shores Beach versus Fort Walton Beach, two famous beaches going head to head. And then we go play NPM on the road the next week. And obviously the success they've done such a great job of rebuilding that program, Zach turning that program around. And then we get into conference play with the state runner-up Saraland. So our top three teams, I don't know, to be honest with you, it may not be another team in the nation that's going to play a first three games like that in the country in high school football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some football.
There's no doubt. You play those three opponents, that's going to help you out in the long run. You know that. You've been doing this a long time, Coach, and it's going to help you playoff run and everything. It's going to help you down the road, I promise you. Just talk about a little artists, Coach. I'm going to brag on you a little bit, man. I've done my little homework on you. Coach Hud, he's 32-6, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, in 3 years at Gulf Shores. Did you know that Coach Hud is the all-time winningest coach at Gulf Shores High School?
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Second round of playoffs, you got to round 3, and then it's this past year, you won a state championship. Man, that is quite an honor, Coach.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, just honor for the opportunity. And I've had for me, I was very fortunate to be able to coach under and coach with some outstanding coaches at a young age, and just absorbed so much growing up as a young coach. I took the graduate assistant route when I really could have probably threw in the towel, because it took me 5 years basically as a GA to break into the college game, living on romaine noodles and not having a dime of money, for a long time. But just sacrificing that to learn the game, to meet a lot of coaches, and just the coaches I was able to work with. Just for one staff I was with at Nicholls State, just on that staff alone, it was Ed Ogeron was on the staff. Steve Campbell, former head coach South Alabama, was on the staff. Tim Rebo, who's the current head coach at Nicholls State, on the staff. You got Dave Saunders, Mitch Rodrigue on my staff. Rick Rhodes, you're familiar with Rick Rhodes, obviously he was the head coach. And so as a young coach, I was just with some really good coaches. And then I went to Navy with Charlie Weatherby, and just some outstanding coaches growing up and coming through the system, and allowed me to sort of cut my teeth and learn from some of the best.
Man, that's good.
Coach, that is so awesome. And especially that you continue to give honor where honor's due, because, we're supposed to do that, but that's just awesome. But I want to ask you a question really quickly. I want to know personally, what is it like coaching ball on the beach there in Gulf Shores? You're in resort, you're on Pleasure Island, you're in a resort town all the time. What is it like coaching football?
And he gets to coach football down there, man. We live in Mobile. We have to drive every weekend, and I'm jealous. I see Coach Hud and coaching football, which I love to do, and he does too, but he's on the beach.
He's on the beach.
I really have to pinch myself sometimes, because, that's being so long at the college game, and the college game has changed, but for so long, college coaches, we felt like you had to work more. You had to be in the office more than everybody else. You had to be on the road more than everybody else if you was going to have a chance to be successful. And for a long time, I did that, and it takes a toll on. It takes a toll on your families. It takes a toll on relationships, and man, you learn along the way from your mistakes and your victories, and and now stepping back and moving to Gulf Shores and being here in a place that we grew up coming to visit, and having long weekends, because we had a beach home here when we was at Louisiana Lafayette, Mississippi State, and Austin Peay. at bought a beach home. We came here all for the Christmas break, summer break. We get 4 weeks off in the summer and every long weekend. And then finally, God really gave us this amazing opportunity to put down some roots and to get to coach football, what I love to do, in one of the most beautiful places in the world. And now I get to do it and be able to coach my little kids. And so I didn't get a chance to coach my older kids. And because, I sacrificed all of that for football and for college football and for bowl wins. And I look back now and what worth it? Now, seeing my little boys all in middle school run down to the high school when the bell rings. Now they're my managers out at practice every afternoon, and I get to ride home with them, go home, throw ball in the yard. It's a chance to do something I never got a chance to do with my first two children, unfortunately. And getting to coach here, it's just been a blessing that the good Lord has given me. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity that Principal Cindy Beatty gave me to be the head football coach here at Gulf Shores. And I'm glad we was able to bring them a championship. We got some great kids, got some great coaches. But man, just, you take a look around right here. I get to do this every single day. And then I get to go coach football. And it's like, this can't be real.
Listen, I'll tell you a big secret, but don't tell him. I've been praying for quite a while that he gets a job at the beach. But we love where he's at, but my heart would be that right there. So, and I'm happy for your Mrs. Coach and your family, because that is so important. So important.
Yeah. What a great memories with his kids right there.
Yeah.
Getting opportunity to coach them and be with them.
Yeah.
That's some really good stuff. Well, Coach, moving right along, I think you pretty much answered my next question for me, but I'm going to ask you again. You was a college football coach for 15 years, and you just completed 3 years at Gulf Shores. What led you to be a high school coach? I think you just answered that for me.
Yeah, just spending so much time away from my wife and my kids. And then when I had this chance to come here, I talked to Tyler, my wife, and said, we're always trying to come here every chance we get. And said, what if we just live here? And she was all in. And matter of fact, as soon as I hang up with you guys, we're going to do a sunset walk down the beach, and then we're going to go home and shower and go have dinner at one of our favorite places tonight. And so it's just the chance to coach my boys. So I'm gonna stay in coaching until my last kid graduates and plays his last high school game. And the day he finishes that last game, I'm gonna probably be about 68. I'm calling it quits.
Don't say it. Don't say it. You never know.
Like I said a few minutes ago, Coach, you was coach at the collegiate level for many years. And, you already hit on this again. Just talk about the difference between the two, high school and college. Of course, you got more time to spend with your family. You're not on the road recruiting and doing all those type of things. So what do you see the biggest difference between coaching? Because football is football. So what's the biggest difference between high school and college?
Well, the biggest difference, coaching wise, and we'll get into family wise, the biggest difference in college is you've got your whole staff there all day long. You're there at 6 in the morning. You have meetings and for practice preparations. You're watching all of practice. You're sitting there watching hours and hours of opponent film. Everybody has a certain duty they're doing in the office, and then you go to workouts, and then you have practice, and you have extra meetings with your players. In high school, most of your coaches obviously are teaching class all day. And so they don't get as much time as they would like to come down, watch film, especially as a staff. And now you're watching all of the practice film from the day before. You're watching all the opponent film. So that makes a difference. Fortunate for us here at Gulf Shores, myself and my coordinators, we don't teach class. And we each have a graduate assistant coach that works with us all day long in the office. They're doing all of our PowerPoints, our installation, PowerPoints, our video, getting everything ready for our meetings with our players in the mornings. And so that allows us to prepare just like we would do in college. And so Brian Van Gorder, my defensive coordinator, he's in his staff room with his graduate assistant. He's breaking down film from 6 until practice time. And then, Coach Enfield with the offense, and I do the special teams. And so that allows for a lot of preparation time. And then obviously the coaches, the teacher are there with us in the mornings for our first block. And then they teach the rest of the day, come back when school is out, and we have their practice plans ready, the practice scripts, and then they come down and we go straight to practice. And so that part's a little bit different. Like you said, the football is very similar. The part that is much easier is obviously you take half the job away when you go to high school because you don't have the recruiting. You're not on the phone. You're not doing nightly phone calls to your top prospects. You're not sitting in recruiting staff meetings, evaluating staff recruiting film for hours and hours and ranking those guys, getting those rankings to the head coach, and then calling and offering kids, and then obviously going on the road for 4 weeks in the summertime, and then all of December traveling around away from your family. When football's over, you go home and you love up on your kids and your wife. And be honest with you, there is a big. I've always thought it was, but now seeing it from this side, the workload is disproportionate in college from what it should be. It's not. You're not able to do it all, and to me, have a family. You can choose. You can do all football and have a little bit of family, but you cannot have both and do it the way, especially if you're an assistant coach, because you're at the mercy of the head coach. Head coach can go home when he wants to. The head coach can leave and go to the school play kids, but the assistant coaches, they've got to they've got to get their work done, and they're not at the mercy of just coming and going. And so it's quite a challenge. And high school is just that part's much easier. We get our kids in practice. Like I said, my kids are managers, ball boys. I get to coach my kids in middle school spring ball. So now I do miss coaching the college athlete. You're out there with some of the best in the country, and it's a high level of competition. It's great coaches that you're challenging yourself with, each Saturdays, and you got the crowds and the incredible venues and the travel and the jets and all that's attractive. But after a while, you realize there's more to it, especially as you mature. And as I've gotten older, I've realized now I would trade what I have right now with my wife and kids for any of that again.
Yeah.
Coach, you're not the only coach I've ever heard say that. I've thought some other college coaches have been down that road before, and they went back to high school or retired now. And they say, man, it's just, I enjoyed it. But you know what? I put that before my family and even in God, before God, and now they just kind of regret it, but there ain't no doubt that you made the right decision, man, and you're doing great. You've won wherever you've been at the collegiate level. But Coach coached at Mississippi State for 3 years.
I knew he did, but I didn't know for how long.
Yeah,
so,
you get it 2 different times.
Yeah.
So that was unbelievable.
And another thing too, we're fortunate here, and it wouldn't quite be the same if I had to teach class all day or do 2 or 3 PE classes and had to do hall duty. The way we have it set up allows us to be able to do what we love and have family time, because our superintendent, Matt Aiken, our principal, Cindy Veazey, they get it. They understand what high school coaches have to do, in order to put a team on the field or a team on the court or a team on the diamond. And so they really work well with our coaches, limiting the amount of time their head coaches and some of obviously the assistants have to spend in the classroom. It would be like a principal or a superintendent teaching class all day till 3, and then being a superintendent after school.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and most principals across this country don't get it. Ours does. Miss V, she understands it. Our our school board understands it, and for us to give our student athletes an incredible experience, it allows us to do that because we're there with them all day in preparation, helping them find homes, college football homes, planning, doing things to make their experience better. But what some high school principals, superintendents across the country, and just some schools in general in Florida, pay them very little. Unfortunately, it's coaches really do it for the love of the game, and they really should. Coaches across this state are probably taken care of better than most other states, but I still think highly underpaid, and they should be for the work they put in, getting there early, staying late, weekends. It's really a shame that they don't make more than what they do for what they do so much for so many.
Yeah,
I can agree with you more, Coach.
that's true.
No doubt.
So true. Well, you've got some awesome and exciting news coming for Gulf Shores High School. So tell us when that new high school is going to be ready.
2026 will be in our new high school, and I think it's around $150 million project. It's right on the Beach Express as you're going south before you go over the wharf, the bridge at the wharf. If so many people are listening, probably familiar with that. Be right there on your right. It's really, I've seen it. I've seen the really detailed drawings, and it's amazing. And the thing that I'm excited about selfishly is we're going to have a 120-yard indoor, the longest, biggest indoor in the state of Alabama. Brand new football operation building, weight room, coaching offices, coaching suites, coaching locker rooms, offensive staff rooms, defensive staff rooms, main staff rooms. They really let me put my thoughts into a facility because I built the facility and designed the facility at Louisiana Lafayette. And so I just really felt like I could bring some experience to the table. And this is going to be something all of our student athletes in all sports are going to be able to enjoy. And I think it's going to even make us more competitive and give every sport a chance to be successful and give athletes a great experience.
Oh yeah, I don't know where we saw the video, but we saw a video, and then of course we pass it, coming over the bridge there. We see the construction starting and all the growth, but we watched the video, and it is going to be incredible. I don't think you'll have a problem at all having students, players, coaches wanting to be a part of that.
It's going to be the best in the state. There's no doubt. I watched that video with the resources and the building and everything is phenomenal.
Yeah. So is there any chance that you guys might move up to 7A?
In a couple of years when the state reclassifies, Coach, with so many people moving in Baldwin County on the new school, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest with you, as much as respect as I have for all those coaches and teams in 7A, I don't know if 7A is any tougher than 6A. You get they're all tough, and so many good coaches and players and programs. So many other programs is outstanding. You get into the 6A regions, and so it's going to push everyone to be their best, and so we'll have to be the best. And that's the challenge. That's what I love. I love a challenge.
No doubt.
We've got to come here.
Yeah.
We're excited for it.
Yes, sir. So, Coach, I work with some of your coworkers now, with James Ray and Kelly Causey. Man, I know you guys go all the way back to Delta State, and talk to all of us a little bit about your Delta State days, man, with Coach Causey and Coach Ray.
You know what? I think about those days often. Very fortunate to get to play, college football at Delta State. I walked on there. So that's what I tell all our players right now that aren't getting recruited. Man, if you want to play college football bad enough, put in the work in that. You can find a home. I went, walked up, earned a spot. I went in there, and the first week I snuck into the coach's staff room, raised up the screen to see the depth chart, thinking thinking I'm gonna probably be somewhere toward the top. It was 8 quarterbacks, and I didn't even have a tag. They print my name in with a magic marker, so I didn't even have a name tag. But guys, I tell our players the best ability. There's a lot of abilities out there: speed, arm strength, guys who can catch, hit, uh, physical, strong. Those are all different abilities. But the number one ability, in my opinion, is availability. There's a lot of talented players out there that aren't available for one reason or another. So over the next 5 years, when I was at Delta State, I'm number 8. Well, 2 guys flunked out, 2 guys graduated, 2 guys quit, 1 got kicked off, and I'm still there. I'm moving up that depth chart because I'm available. And he knew it my junior year, became a starter, and obviously that's when I met Kelly Causey. He moved in, and James had been there before Kelly had got there, and so we were really 3 amigos somewhat. We were really all 3 very close, hung out so much. Kelly lived in Cleveland. His mom and dad lived there. He was from there, and so it was pretty him to play in his hometown. We did a lot together, and they were great times. Those are great guys, great coaches. Me and Kelly coached together at North Alabama, and he's done such a great job wherever he's been. And James as well. Couldn't be more proud of those guys. My only regret is we've not had a chance to get together near as much, and that's as much my fault as anybody. I hope in the near future that I'm a little bit closer to those guys that we can get together and have time to catch up a little bit and reminisce a little bit.
Well, Coach,
maybe in that short 1 week window that all of y'all have a break, maybe you can grab a day.
Yeah. Well, Coach, they speak highly of you, man. And, kind of a funny story. I come walking in. This is before I knew the connection with you and those guys, and I walked in, and on Coach Kelly's desk, Coach Causey's desk, he's got a picture of you 3 guys. And I said, Coach Hud? And they said, yeah, how you know Coach Hud? So I told them we go to church together and everything, and it's like, what a small world, man. And yeah, there's a good, you 3 guys, you 3 bucks, and that picture together was a good picture, but they think a lot of you, some great stories about you guys at Delta State, man. That's some good stuff.
Well, I wasn't a player. I wasn't a player that Kelly Causey was. That guy was a headhunter and a linebacker and just a phenomenal player. And he's just trying to get the ball back every time I throw an interception. He's out there trying to.
What an awesome connection, though. That's just so cool. Yeah, I love it.
Small world.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I want to ask you about somebody very special in all of our lives, too. So can you take a couple of minutes and tell us about your character coach and your kicking coach, which is actually all of our pastor as well, Pastor Fred Franks.
Fred Franks, I owe my life to him. He has been not only our team's character coach, he's been my character coach, my best friend. He has done so much for me, my family, my team, and be honest with you, this entire island here on Pleasure Island, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, everybody knows Fred Frank. He has touched everybody's life in some way. So I tell him all the time, I said, you're like the Holy Spirit, man. I said, you're everywhere. And,
I love that.
He's at all the sporting events, and he's having men's night, and he's at the fire department. He's praying at the police department and blessing, new fire trucks. And he's just, he's a staple in the community. And I love him and his wife, Liz. And the Island Church, we all know is just such a special place. And he pours his heart into it. It's so sincere. If you're ever down this vacation, I would encourage anybody listening, make sure you pop in morning, stop by the Island Church. You'll be glad you came by. And he would love, he's the type of guy, you came up and introduced yourself. You said you were a coach and you were there in vacation, brought your family in. He would give you the first class treatment. And he's just an awesome guy. proud to say that he's my friend.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Danny and I say the same thing. He is our character coach and he's our pastor, but he is just a people's pastor. Like he and Miss Liz just love people. Whether you come on vacation and you go for a visit one time, or you make that your home church, or you go to church somewhere else, he absolutely loves that area, that island, but he just has a special anointing for those sports and for those kids and the parents. And I've never seen anything like it. I just love he and Liz
You know,
so much.
we just visited her one Sunday. Michelle was talking about, I think she saw him online. She said, hey, we need to go check out this church called the Island Church. I said, sure. We know we was down there in the RV. And man, we went in, I listened to him preach, and I said, this is going to be our church home. And that was 3 years ago, man. And
After the first time.
First time. And that's absolutely, love the church, love him, everything about him. He loves football. He loves God. I mean, that's a pretty good combination right there, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
In the South, they don't get much better than that. Loving God, loving your family, and loving football. That's for sure.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right.
We call it our favorite F words, which is faith, family, fitness, a whole lot of football, and having fun. Yeah. We knew, we have the place there and then we're in Mobile as well. But even on the weekends that we're here in Mobile, we'll get up and drive to church. If we're not there already for the weekend, it's powerful. So I agree.
So, I just want to tell our audience, if you're down in Orange Beach or Gulf Shores, I would highly, highly recommend going to visit the Island Church. It has done so much for us and our marriage, and it just our walk with Christ. It's just a phenomenal place. And Pastor Fred teaches from the Bible. He does such a great job. He's such a blessing. It's such a people person. And, we just can't say good enough things about him. By the way, I know this podcast will be out next week, but today is Pastor Fred's birthday.
Yeah.
So Pastor Fred, I know you'll see this next week. Happy birthday again.
That's right. And we've got to have him on. We need to have him on the show too.
That's right.
Well, Coach, tell us real quick, we're getting ready to wrap it up, but we always like to bring our faith into it. I know we've talked about our pastor and our church, but can you tell our audience and share a little bit with our network, what has your faith meant to you? Have you had some times that you've had to really draw on your faith, and what has that meant to you?
Let me tell you this, if anybody out listening to this podcast, it could be one person that's hearing the message about to say that's going through a hard time. It could be 20 or 100, whatever the case may be. If there's somebody listening and you're going through a hard time, let me tell you, just to put your faith in the Lord, because he says it, he's overcome the world. So fear not what can happen in the world. He's already overcome the world. And if you will put your faith in him, there's nothing that he cannot pull you through. And find a spiritual friend, whether it be a pastor, whether it be a good friend of yours, and they will help you in difficult times. And I've been through difficult times, as we all have. And without the Lord in my life, I don't know if I could have come out and now be living Gulf Shores, Alabama, sitting and talking to you guys on the beach, coaching a 5A state championship team with a beautiful wife and 5 beautiful kids, and about to go on a sunset walk. For me, God has just restored so many years that sometimes you say that maybe the locusts have eaten from time to time. And God is so good, and I'm so thankful that the blessings for the restoration, for the forgiveness, for sins from time to time. I'm just so thankful for you guys and your friendships and what you guys do to bring these messages, because there is always hope and there's always I'm a living testament of what can happen. So I'm just thankful for you guys even asking that question.
Yeah, well, that's so awesome that you even said that, because I know that we have some listeners in our audience that that's really hitting home with right now. I know that somebody needed to hear that, that no matter what's been in their life, or maybe they're facing some really hard times, but the fact is we all do. But if you continue to give it to the Lord, and you continue to invite him in, and you continue to, ask for his will and way and direction, he is there, and you
And you,
will make it out, and he can turn things around for you. So thank you so much for sharing that, Coach,
and
because it
you,
means a lot,
sometimes
you know?
sometimes you feel like you're going through a hard time, and how am I going to get through this? And what if, this too shall pass.
Yes.
Keep, it shall pass, and you will get your life together, and you
Yes.
can live your best life. So get in the Bible, pray, get down on your knees, humble yourself. And that's the thing that I'm so proud of, that I can say I did. I humbled myself, thankful to the Lord, thankful for Christian friends, and thankful that God gave me this opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the only way, Coach. I promise you.
Yeah. It is, and that's so
That really
good.
true joy and peace and filled with the Holy Spirit is
Yeah.
nothing better.
Well, we are cheering you on. We are cheering you on for the next season. We're always watching and following, and we might not be able to be there on Friday nights because, I'm cheering on my own coach too, and that
Right.
team. But just always know we're cheering you guys on. We're so proud of you. Tell your beautiful wife that I said hello, and we need to get together in the off season.
Love to.
All right.
Let me
All
show
right,
y'all.
Coach.
Let me show you
Thank you so much for doing the show, man.
Thank you so much for being here. Go enjoy that sunset walk, and hopefully we'll see you in church soon. Oh, look at the
Look at that sunset.
Look at that, guys. Look at the sunset.
Wow, perfect timing.
That is Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ah, that is so beautiful. And I want to give a quick shout out real quick before I forget too.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out and give honor to my episode coffee every week is Yellowhammer Coffee, Jeff and Monique Roberts. And our merch, Inside the Red Zone hats, was created by So Sassy Creations. Her name is Kesley Corner. So shout out to Kesley. You can find her on Facebook. And please, guys, if you like anything that we're doing here, we're trying really hard, and we're on a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers. So we need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share it. Would you share this with your family and friends? We want to hit 1,000. I kind of said, if we hit 1,000, can I pie you in the face or something?
Hey, you can do that. We hit 100. I don't care. It'll be a lot of fun.
He said 100. Okay, y'all better share this out so I can pie Coach in the face.
Hey, as long as I get to hit her in the face one too, it'll be a lot of fun.
All right, guys.
All right, Coach. Thanks again, man.